Good morning, class. Today is Thursday, April 23rd, and we're, obviously still doing a virtual learning thing. I hope you guys are doing well and you're staying healthy and you're not too stressed out about whatever's going on at home and your schoolwork, obviously. So, I'm just going to get right into it because we actually have a lot to go over today. And don't worry, when you get into the instructions, you're going to see a lot of material is not as bad as it looks on paper. So, first thing, obviously, you need to do is watch the YouTube video, which you're doing. Amen. Great job. And check in with the attendance assignment. In the last class information, you were supposed to write the introduction paragraphs for your essay. That was your Tuesday assignment. And I'm assuming you wrote like two paragraphs. And if you followed the RPA example that I gave you, towards the end of those two paragraphs, you're going to indicate what your thesis is. All right, so the technical terms for what you already did was the exordium. The exordium was your introduction paragraphs, and when you introduce your thesis, that is called the partition. These vocabulary words are important. I don't want you to get all the way through this course and not know these words, so you need to know what those words are. When you look into your instructions for today, you're going to see four files. The first one is the instructions, which I'm going over right now. The other is the classical essay components. I need you to look over that and familiarize yourself with it because, like I said, these vocabulary words that I'm throwing out, you need to know these words. Even though you're already doing them and you probably are doing them well, not knowing what you're doing, it's important that you know. So the exordium is your introduction paragraphs. Your partition, like I said, that's where you indicated what your thesis is. And then you're going to get into today's assignment, which is going to create your narration. Your narration, I'll get into that in a second. After that, we're going to do the confirmation, the refutation, and the peroration. But today, let's just focus on the narration. All right, so the narration is where the specific things you need to do is bring forth the facts of the case. So you're going to offer the reader relevant material. You're going to lay a foundation for your argument. You're going to provide specific examples of background information, and you're going to offer information for understanding the topic more thoroughly. So in the narration portion, this is where you're finally going to start introducing your sources and indicating what materials you learned from them. Make sure that when you write your narration, which is probably going to be another 2 paragraphs, it could be 3, that you definitely start doing your ethos, pathos, and logos. You're definitely going to do ethos just by introducing the source and say who they are. But remember, you're writing a persuasive essay. And when it comes to persuasion, which rhetorical appeal works best? Pathos. So make sure you include those. You have to include rhetorical devices. This whole course has been teaching you about ethos, pathos, and logos. If you make it all the way to this paper and don't do it yourself, you're not going to score well. All right, so the other 2 things that are going to be in your instructions section is the RPA prompt and requirements. So you already know what your prompt is. If you don't, read this. As far as the requirements, you definitely already know that. You know it has to be 4 to 6 pages. You know the topic has to be over, race, ethnicity, American identity, gender, stuff like that. Make sure you introduce kairos. You have to indicate what what prompted this. What's the exigency? What specific thing or things made this a relevant topic today? Your research requirement, you already took care of. You already did your research. Your target audience, if you did your Tuesday assignment, you already did that. And then at the bottom of the RPA prompting requirements, I gave you the mandatory minimum checklist. So just look over it, make sure you know, and make sure you do everything on this list. It's crucial. Other than that, the other thing that's in your instructions is I found some information about tailoring ethos appeals to a hostile audience. This may or may not be useful to you, but it's good reading, so I think you should look it over. All right, so given the fact that I'm giving you a lot of reading, I'm going to give you some extra time this time. So even though tomorrow's another B day, the narration portion that I'm asking you to add to your paper is not going to be due tomorrow. You have until Saturday, April 25th to submit it. When you submit it by then, make sure that you already have your introduction paragraphs, you already indicated who your hostile audience is, and you added your narration paragraph. So that's like probably going to be at least half or more than halfway through your essay. You'll probably be up to 3 pages by when you finish that. And since this only has to be 4 to 6 pages, you're well on your way to completion. When you submit it by Saturday, April 25th, that'll give me all day Sunday and Monday to check it to make sure you're on the right track. And obviously, this is due May 6th, so we got to keep it moving. All right, so all I need you to do, look at all the documents in the introduction section in Google Classroom. Add your narration paragraphs. That's where you introduce your sources. Make sure you use ethos, pathos, logos. Ethos and pathos, logos, all of them have to be there. And that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm not. All right, so I hope you guys are doing well again. Yeah, that's it. I feel like I need to say something else. I can't think of it. If I think of it, I'll add it in the instructions, but I think I'm good. All right, see you guys later.